On the surface, it all looks so normal. Matthew Sanchez shooting baskets in his driveway. But Matthew has type 1 diabetes, and each day his family lives with the fear diabetes brings.
Our fear for him as he gets older, the damage he does to his organs if his blood sugars are high and low. And I also have fear of him when he's not with me. I worry all the time. Diabetes doesn't take a vacation. It's here with us all the time.
If I could just have like one day without having diabetes, I would be like the happiest kid in the world.
Matthew was diagnosed when he was 5.
We were devastated. As a family, I didn't know where to turn.
Then they learned about the Diabetes Research Institute.
They embraced us and they gave us hope. There's no other place in the world like it. They have so many advances and they're so close. My hope is that one day that there'll be a cure for Matthew and so many kids like him. And the GRI gives me hope for that.
For families like the Sanchez's, for millions who dream of a cure, only one organization is solely devoted to making their dream come true. One organization is leading the world to a cure, the Diabetes Research Institute.
It's clear that in terms of the technology, in terms of the research, in terms of the scientists, we are at the forefront of cure-directed research.
Under the leadership of the world-renowned Dr. Camillo Ricordi, the DRI at the University of Miami is the most comprehensive research facility of its kind in the world, able to move promising ideas from the lab to the patient.
The DRI continues to be the only place that I am aware of anywhere in the world that has every level of research needed to ultimately achieve a cure.
Since its inception, the DRI has pioneered many approaches in the search for a cure, collaborating with leading scientists around the world.
You combine your local expertise with your selected collaborator that you handpick worldwide, and you focus all of this competence and effort and expertise on solving one problem, finding one cure, resolving one disease.
They're making progress that's routinely published in leading medical journals and featured in the news media. Progress that's changing lives. Judy Barker has felt the impact of the DRI's work.
It has completely changed my life.
In 2006, Judy went to the DRI to receive a transplant of the cells that produce insulin, called islet cells. Since then, she says, her blood sugar levels have been just about normal.
What a wonderful feeling. Going to bed, not worrying if I was not going to wake up the next day because I was going to be in a coma because my blood sugars went too low. I don't have those fears anymore.
Judy was diagnosed at 19.
No matter what they did and no matter how they tried, my blood sugars were never controlled, ever.
One day, she was driving when her blood sugar went dangerously low.
And I had 2 of my boys in the car with me. And I said, oh, I'm not feeling too well. I need to check my blood sugars. I'll make it home. I got home and I checked my blood sugars and they were 35. Never again. I don't get in my car without checking my blood sugars because I could have killed my whole family. So that, is a very scary thing to me.
In addition, Judy began developing complications in her eyes, kidneys, and nerves.
So that was a big wake-up call to get better control and, find another option.
That option, to take part in the DRI's islet transplant trials.
It's not a cure for diabetes, but it is such a difference and it's such a help.
Now she requires only a small amount of insulin per day.
My eyesight isn't getting worse. My neuropathy hasn't gotten any worse. My kidneys haven't gotten any worse.
For this, she says, she's incredibly grateful to the DRI.
It was the best thing that's ever happened to me, ever.
Today, the Institute is building upon its achievements in islet transplantation to form a new roadmap in cure-focused diabetes research. The focus now, to move beyond the boundaries, to restore insulin production by bridging cell-based therapies with emerging technologies. Through tissue engineering, trying to protect transplanted islet cells from immune attack by placing them inside implantable devices. Also, using nanotechnology to encase them in ultra-thin protective layers. Local drug delivery, delivering drugs only where islets are placed and not throughout the entire body. Stem cells, increasing the supply of islets by coaxing these cells to become insulin-producing cells, including embryonic, amniotic, and cord blood cells. Regeneration, prompting the patient's own body to regrow islet cells. Tolerance, enabling a patient to accept transplanted cells without the need for lifelong anti-rejection drugs. And to prevent the recurrence of an autoimmune attack which caused diabetes in the first place. What makes this progress possible is the Diabetes Research Institute Foundation, the DRI's major source of funding. Driven by people who are serious, passionate, and committed to finding a cure for diabetes. People like Tom Stern, who now serves as its national chairman. His daughter Samantha was 22 months old when she was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes.
I basically looked far and wide at every organization that was doing work in type 1 diabetes. The answers kept coming back that some of the best work was being done at the DRI.
So Tom and his wife Denise made a commitment to help the DRI find a cure.
I felt like this is someplace that will make a difference and where I can make a difference.
Leading with excellence, with vision, with passionate commitment. Leading the world for parents.
I want to find a cure for Samantha early in her lifetime.
We're going to go out and get it, and we won't stop until we do find a cure.
Leading the world for patients.
If anybody's going to do it, they're going to do it.
Leading the world for children like Matthew Sanchez.
My teacher, Mrs. Mireles, told all of us to write a story about one wish that you could have if you could have one from Wishing Well. If I had like 25 cents in my hand, I would throw it in, then wish that I could not have diabetes anymore. Well, that's just really what I want.